Vartaman Kal or the present tense is used to talk about incidents or events that happen at present. In this class, let us study two types of Vartaman Kal. Now look at this first set of sentences. Let me read them out for you. मोहन पत्र लिखता है. मोहन writes a letter. लड़के मैदान में खेलते हैं. Boys play in the playground. सुधा रोटी बनाती है. Sudha makes roti. Now in all the three sentences you see some action happening, some work happening. Write, play, make, there is some action happening, but the way the sentence is formulated, you cannot say whether the work has started or is it happening right now or is it finished, is it over. You cannot say that. It is a general sentence. That is why we call it the Samanya Vartaman Kal. Samanya in Hindi means general. We just know that it is happening at present. That is what Sudha usually does. She makes roti. That is what the ladke usually do. That is what the boys usually do. Play in the playground. That is why in English we call them the simple present tense, or in some books you will see it referred to as the indefinite present tense, because it is not definite whether the work has started or finished or it is going on. Now look at this set of sentences. Mohan patra likh raha hai. Mohan is writing, the ing form. Mohan is writing a letter. Ladke मैदान में खेल रहे हैं. Boys are playing in the playground. Sudha roti bana rahi hai. Sudha is making roti. So in these sentences also action is happening. But what can you say? The action has started and at present it is happening. So that is why in English we call it by many names actually. It is called the continuous present tense or the progressive present tense, or sometimes the imperfect present tense. Why? Because the action is continuing, ing, it is right now happening. The action is progressing right now, but then it is imperfect because it has not yet finished. If now you open the window and you look out, you will see that the boys are playing. If you go to the kitchen and you see, Sudha will be making the rotis. So it is imperfect, or in other words, it is apurna. Purna is complete. Apurna is incomplete. So this is action which has started. We know for sure it has started. We know that it is continuing, but it is not yet finished. So it is apurna. Now look at these sentences. What difference do you see? Mohan is Mohan, Patra is Patra. What is the only thing where you change, you see the change? It is in the verb form. So verb is any work you do. Only that form changes. So if we have to change a sentence from the Samanya Vartaman Kal to the Apurna Vartaman Kal, we just have to know how the verb changes. That is what we will see next. Now in that set of sentences, we saw that the only difference in the sentences had to do with the verb form. The changes in the verb form. What do you mean by the changes in the verb form? The verb is anything that we do, any action we do. See, write, eat, sleep, fall, anything. Now the verb has a basic form, what we call the root form or the mool root in Hindi. There is a base form, a basic form. Now I have written down some in Hindi and in English. Jana, khana, likhna, girna, dekhna, go, eat, write, fall, see. Now this is the basic form, the root form. Now with this, in English we have 5 different forms. We call it the V1, V2, V3, etc. Now I just wanted to tell you something. We do a comparative study of Hindi and English grammar, but then the emphasis remains on the Hindi grammar. So I am not going to go into detail about it, but from the basic word right, you have 5 different forms depending on what the subject is and what the tense. Are we talking about the past tense, the present tense, or the future tense? Depending on that, the verb form keeps on changing. So now what do we mean by the subject here? Subject is anyone who is doing the action. Now there are three main categories. The first person is me, the speaker who is right now speaking, and anything that includes me. So the first person singular will be I, the plural will be we, because when I say we, it includes me. And who is the second person? The second person is you, who is right now watching this video. It is you. Who is the third person? Anyone that is not you or me. Any bird, animal, he, she, they, Rahul, Sita, doctor, bird, birds, donkey, donkeys. Anything that is not you and me will fall in the third person. And there are two categories, the singular and the plural. Doctor, doctors, bird, birds, Ravi and Kamala. So now, who all falls into this category? Let us see. So the rule is that for simple present tense, the verb will come only in these two forms. And if your present tense is continuous, the verb will come only in these three forms. Now, who all will eat or are eating? The first person, the second person, the third person, plural, all of them will eat in the simple present tense. All of them are eating in the continuous present tense. Just try saying, I eat, we eat, you eat, they eat, birds eat, doctors eat, and similarly are eating. We are eating, you are eating, they are eating, birds are eating, doctors are eating. The only exception is for I. For I, we have a special case. So for everything else, the first person, the second person, and the third person plural, all of that falls in the eat category when it is simple, are eating when it is continuous, and I, for the I case, it is an exception. So what is left? Just the singular third person. One bird, one doctor, Rahul, Kamala, he, she, just one person. Rahul eats, Rahul is eating. Doctor eats, doctor is eating. So that is how, based on the subject, you divide it. So whenever it is simple, it comes only in these forms. Whenever it is continuous, it comes only in these forms. Now why have I written S or ES? Why have I written S or ES? Because if you have eat, drink, etc., you just have to add an S. But what about go or do? For that you cannot just add S, right? For that you have to add ES. So that is why this form you have to add S or ES. Now we go to the Hindi part. Now we come to the Hindi part. Who all are the subjects? Who all are we going to be making these sentences for? The first person would be main, which is I, hum, which is we. Both of it include me, who is the speaker. The second person would be tu, tum, aap, depending on whether you are younger than me, you are of the same age as me, or you are older than me. The third person would be anything, the clock, the AC, the fan, the dog, the cat, the teacher, the doctor, Rahul, Kamala, Rahul and Kamala. Singular and plural forms you have in the third person. So what is the rule? Look at the form of the verb forms there. Now do not get confused between jana and ja, girna and gir. It is just the difference between go and to go. So obviously this is the smaller verb form. In your samanya vartaman kal, how does your verb look? Take the basic form. To it add a jati, jata, jate. Right? Now, who all will fall in what all category? Any female, like one female, many female, singular, plural, good, bad, angry, whatever female is, she will fall in the jati group. And do not forget to put the correct helping verb. What are the helping verbs? Whom is when I go, I eat. He is anybody singular. He is anybody plural. Now, who all fall in the jata group? The I form male. Female is completely covered in this. The I form in the male. When I am a male and I say I go, I will say jata hoon, girta hoon, karta hoon. And next is what? Singular male. Again, Ravi jata hai, or कुत्ता भौंकता है, that is a singular male. And then for plural male, जाते हैं और सोते हैं. Similarly, how does the apurna vartaman kal behave when it comes to the verbs? Just add ja. जा रही for any female. जा रही हूँ if I am the one talking. जा रही है for singular. जा रही है for plural. And again जा रहा for who? The first person male, singular male. And जा रहे for who? For plural male. And also you know the exception that we have studied, right? For older male, they are singular, but we will treat them like they are plural. So those are the exceptions. And once we come to the exercises, we will see how the whole thing looks. Now you're not seeing it with the sentence, so you will not get a complete picture of how they behave. Now let's go to the exercises and we will see how they behave. Ladies first, so we start with the striling, and I have written all the combinations. We have already studied it. I will give the link below in the description box. Please see that. मैं हूँ, I am. हम हैं, we are. Then तू है, तुम हो, आप हैं. We have already studied this, right, in the previous lesson. And then the third person, लड़की, मछली or anything singular है. लड़कियां, मछलियां, anything plural हैं. So now the question is, how do we change the verb form? I have written the basic form here. What do? We women are like super cool. No tension, no drama. All you do is just keep on adding ती. पढ़ती, मैं पढ़ती हूँ. I study. You see the difference between English and Hindi? In English, if I say I study, you don't know if I am a man or a woman. But then here you see, मैं पढ़ती हूँ. हम लिखती है, we write. तू गाती है, you sing. तुम नाचती हो, you dance. आप सीखती है, you learn. लड़की मछली तैरती है, a girl swims, a fish swims. लड़कियां मछलियां तैरती है, fishes swim, girls swim. So it's quite simple, right? Now I am not happy. Now I am not happy with the indefinite tense. I want to know for sure that it is happening right now. So what do? I change it to the apurna vartaman kal, where the action is happening. How do I change it? From padti, likhti, gati, nachti, seekhti, what do? I remove the ti and instead I put pad rahi, likh rahi, ga rahi, nach rahi, seekh rahi, tair rahi. Except for that part, everything else remains same. Now this was the female form. Let us go to the male form. But before going, let me tell you one thing. There is a general form. What is the general form? We already discussed it. It is ta or raha for singular male. If it is plural male, it is jate or rahe form. But then there are 3 exceptions. In 3 cases you will see exception. I will tell you where all it is. First one will be for tum. The other one will be in aap. And the third one will be here. So in these 3 cases you will see a slight difference from how the general rule is for male. Now we come to the male forms. The combination of the subject and the helping verbs is as usual. We have done it a multitude of times, so I am not going to repeat it. Now just look at the verb forms. मैं, I am a single person, so मैं पढ़ता हूँ, I read. हम is we, so it means lot of men. Many men in plural, so they. तू Nach dash. Tu is you, which is a younger person, and just one person. So ta. But then look at this tum. This tum is one person, so it should be hasta. But it is not hasta. It is actually haste. Why is that? It has nothing to do with the tense or the present tense or the past tense. It is because any verb ending with a followed by ho will change automatically to the a form. It will not be देखता हो. It is wrong. It is देखते हो. And not just that, I think when we were studying about मैं and ने and all, we studied, for example, if we have to say in the room, we don't say kamra mein. Kamra is one room. If we say in the room, we don't say kamra mein, we say kamre mein. And if a boy is saying something, we say ladka, right? One boy is ladka, right? So we say the boy said. But then if it is followed by me or ne, it will not be ladka. It will be ladke ne kaha, kamre mein AC hai. So just the same change. It has got nothing to do with your tense. It is just because the word ho is there. So we cannot have hasta. We have to write it as haste ho. It is only for ho. Nothing else. Hai, hai and ho. The usual helping verbs, it will not affect. Just the ho part you have to change. Now look at the second thing that also changes. Aap is an older male. He is one single person. But we cannot say dekhta. That is disrespectful. Now we will say aap dekhte hain. We will treat him as a plural. Now ladka, kutta, dod, what form? One boy, one dog, it is dodta. But then what is the exception? Instead of ladka, if it is pitaji or mamaji, then what will you say? You will say mamaji dodte hain. So for the older people, this will change. This is in younger person, so I put dodta. Ladke, kutte, plural. So दौड़ते हैं. That's all. Long story short, जाति in the सामान्य वर्तमान काल will become जा रही in the अपूर्ण वर्तमान काल. जाता, जा रहा. जाते, जा रहे. Now tell me what will become to खाती? खा रही. गिरता, गिर रहा. पढ़ते, पढ़ रहे. So these in सामान्य वर्तमान काल and these in apurna vartaman kal. Now let us change the tense. All of them are in the samanya vartaman kal. Let us change it to the apurna vartaman kal. Nothing except the verb form changes. Khata will become what? Kha raha. And khelte will become khel rahe. Except for that, everything else will be same. Jata will become what? Ja raha. Siti, Sita kapde siti hai. Sita stitches clothes. Instead of siti, si rahi. Everything else is same. Banati, ma roti banati hai. Mother cooks roti. Bana rahi. Right now, mother is cooking roti. So it is bana rahi. Tum kya karte ho? What are you doing? Kar rahe. Instead of karte, it is kar rahe. Sarla दूध लाती है. Sarla is getting milk. Instead of लाती, ला रही. Everything else is same. वह औरत फल बेचती है. That woman sells flowers. Instead of बेचती, बेच रही. वे अखबार पढ़ते हैं. They read newspapers. Instead of read, it is they are reading. पढ़ रहे. In these exercises, we will try changing the subject and see how the verb changes with it. मैं जाता हूँ. How will you say that sentence for तुम? तुम जाती हो female. तुम जाते हो. आप क्या खाते हैं? How will you change it for वह? वह क्या खाता है? Or if it is a female, वह क्या खाती है? वह सोता है. How do you change it for वे? You change both of this. सोता, सोते. वह सोता है. वे सोते हैं. हम काम करते हैं. How will you change it for मैं काम करता हूँ. मैं काम करती हूँ if it is female. वे जाती हैं plural, which means they or a group of people who are the third person. हम is again plural, so there is no change. वे जाती हैं. हम जाती हैं. तुम क्यों दौड़ते हो? Did you see that? It is one person, but why are we saying दौड़ते, which is used for plural? It is because of the ho. The ho changes it. वे क्यों दौड़ते हैं? हम गाते हैं. मैं गाता हूँ if I am male. मैं गाती हूँ if I am female. आप चाय पीते हैं. वे चाय पीते हैं. So in this class we studied about 2 types of Vartaman Kal. That is all for today. Till I meet you next time, you take care. Assalamu alaikum.